Let me tell you something that almost no one talks about. If you've been walking consistently, doing squats, trying to squeeze your glutes, but still don't see real change, the problem isn't that you're lazy. And it's definitely not because you're old. The problem is that you're missing a critical piece. A piece that, without it, your glutes will never develop properly. Many people over 50 are doing everything right. Or at least, that's what they've been told. Walk more. Squat if you can. Keep your body moving. It sounds reasonable. But here's the hard truth. If your pelvis is misaligned, your body cannot use your glutes properly on a biological level. You're not building strength. You're reinforcing dysfunction. And the harder you try, the more you repeat the wrong movement pattern. That's why so many people say, I train, but I don't feel my glutes working. I only feel my thighs and lower back. The more I exercise, the more I hurt. At Live Healthy Over 50, we don't believe in training harder. We believe in training in the right order. Because after 50, your body doesn't respond the way it did at 20. And if you keep applying advice meant for younger people, you'll always feel like you're falling behind. But you're not behind. You just need a smarter system. A system that respects your age and activates your body in its proper biological sequence. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Now let's talk about the most important question. Why does pelvic misalignment make your glutes almost disappear after 50? The answer lies in the neuromuscular system. When you're younger, your nervous system sends strong, precise signals. The glutes, especially the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, stabilize your pelvis every time you walk, stand on one leg, or rotate. But research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity shows that after 50, we don't just lose muscle mass. We lose neuromuscular coordination. Simply put, the brain still sends signals, but the muscles don't respond at the right time. And when the pelvis starts to drift out of alignment, from years of sitting, walking with poor mechanics, or limited lateral movement, everything changes when the pelvis rotates outward or tilts to one side. The hip socket loses its centered position. The glute medius becomes either overstretched or shortened improperly. Neural signaling becomes less efficient. The lower back and front thighs begin compensating for the glutes. Your body is intelligent. It will always find a way to complete a movement. But if the foundation is misaligned, it will recruit the wrong muscles. That's why you squat and feel your thighs burning, your lower back tight, but your glutes stay silent. A 2021 analysis in the Journal of Functional Movement Science found that most adults over 50 unconsciously shift force from their glutes to their quadriceps and lower back during basic movements like squatting or standing up. Not because they're doing it wrong, but because the system has forgotten the proper activation sequence. Here's the key point. You're not weak. You've lost the activation sequence. And when the sequence is wrong, every attempt to strengthen your glutes is like building a house on a crooked foundation. But here's the empowering part. Your pelvis is not broken. Your glutes are not dead. Your nervous system is not too late. The brain can relearn. The body can remap movement. When you bring the pelvis back to center and restore the correct neural signals, your glutes wake up. Not by training harder, but by training in the right order. That's why we start with reset. Not to stretch, not to exhaust yourself, but to help your nervous system remember how to control your glutes properly. You don't need to be stronger right now. You need to be more precise. And when you're precise, strength follows. This is where everything begins to change. Not in the squat. Not with heavy weights. Not by squeezing harder. But with a small, precise, intentional movement. Pelvic reset. Remember this. Until your pelvis returns to center, your glutes are essentially offline. You can train every day. You can feel tired. You can sweat. But if the foundation isn't aligned, the strength you build goes in the wrong direction. So we don't train hard first. We fix the foundation first. The reset exercise I want you to do today looks simple. And that simplicity is what makes it powerful. Movement. Rock back with a crossed ankle position. Start in a quadruped position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Slowly cross one ankle over the opposite calf. That small shift creates gentle internal pelvic rotation. Something most people over 50 are lacking. Inhale through your nose. As you exhale, slowly push your hips back toward your heels. Keep your spine neutral. Don't round your back. Don't collapse your shoulders. Pause briefly at the end range. Then inhale and return to the starting position. Repeat 20 to 30 slow, controlled reps. 2 to 3 sets on each side. Too simple? Exactly, because this isn't a muscle exercise. It's a nervous system exercise. When done correctly, you're sending a new signal, pelvis centered. Hips stable, glutes ready. Don't rush. Don't turn it into cardio. Don't hold your breath. This is the reset button, and when you move slowly and precisely, you'll begin to feel something you haven't felt before: connection. That's the first breakthrough moment. You're no longer forcing your glutes to work. You feel them waking up. And once the foundation is aligned and the nervous system remembers the sequence, we move to the next step. Not increasing force, but locking in stability. Because once the house foundation is rebuilt, it needs pillars to hold it steady. You've reset the foundation. Now we stabilize. Because aligned does not mean stable. And after 50, the difference between aligned and stable is everything. Think about small daily moments, stepping off a curb slightly unevenly, turning too quickly while carrying groceries, losing balance for a second while putting on shoes. Those aren't accidents. They're signals. Signals that your gluteus medius and minimus are weakening. They may not make you look better in jeans, but they keep your pelvis level. Keep your knees from collapsing inward. Keep your lower back from compensating. Research in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy links reduced glute medius function directly to decreased balance, increased fall risk, slower walking speed, hip and knee instability. And here's what matters. Walking won't fix this. Squats barely touch these muscles. But one movement does. Side plank with leg lift. It's not flashy, but it bridges stability and strength. When you lift into a side plank, the bottom glute works isometrically to prevent the pelvis from dropping. When you lift the top leg, the upper glute medius activates dynamically to prevent hip rotation. You're training control in the frontal plane, the plane that declines fastest after 50. Perform it slowly and controlled. 5 to 8 reps per side. If the full side plank is too hard, bend your knees. You don't need to prove anything. Stability comes from control. And when you can hold your pelvis steady without shaking or collapsing, you rebuild something many lose after 50. Internal control. Now we build real strength. Supported single-leg Romanian deadlift. Precise, controlled, powerful. Unlike traditional two-leg movements, it forces you to balance, control the pelvis, activate the entire posterior chain, train eccentrically. Research in the NSCA Journal of Strength and Conditioning shows high activation of glute max, medius, and minimus, often exceeding squats when performed with control. 8 to 10 reps per side. 2 to 3 sets. Support is not cheating. Support creates safety. Safety creates activation. Activation creates strength. This movement mirrors real life. Bending down, reaching, and recovering balance. You're not just building glutes. You're building future mobility. Reset. Stabilize. Strengthen. And finally, glute bridge. After 50, squats are no longer king. Glute bridge directly trains hip extension, the primary function of glute max, with less spinal compression. 8 to 12 reps. 2 to 3 sets. It strengthens walking power, improves balance reactions, reduces lower back load, protects the knees. This is your posterior engine. When it works, everything else feels easier. You're not just training for aesthetics. You're training to stand steady. Walk strong. Bend without fear. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Your body didn't betray you. It's waiting for you to understand it properly. After 50, the issue isn't weakness. It's using a system that no longer matches your physiology. But today, you have a new system. Not harder, not more painful, smarter. Reset the foundation. Stabilize the structure. Build controlled strength. Generate safe hip power. Strong glutes aren't just cosmetic. They mean independence. And independence is freedom. At Live Healthy Over 50, we don't fight aging. We evolve with it. You don't need to chase your 30-year-old body. You need to build the strongest version of your current age. And that starts with one small decision. Start today. Not perfect, not everything at once, just one exercise. Slow, precise, consistent. Strength doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. If this video changed how you see your body, leave a comment below. What's your name? How old are you? Where are you watching from? Which exercise will you start with today? Your story might inspire someone who thinks it's too late. But we know the truth. It's never too late. Your body can relearn, can grow stronger. It can become more stable every day. You're not aging. You're rebuilding. And this is only the beginning.